Summoners? Welcome to the channel. Today you are listening to The Bottom Line. I am your host. Some people call me Joel. Some people call me Joel. Some people call me Mr. 801, Mr. Line, JL Gaming, whatever you want to call me. It's all good, man. This is episode number 5 in my YouTube/podcast. It's Friday. I'm feeling good. I've got some brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts sitting closely to my left. Some caramel macchiato Starbucks coffee sitting to my right, and the weekend is nearly here. There is a lot going on in Marvel Contest of Champions right now. There's a lot of stuff to cover here. Honestly, I don't even know where to start. The biggest thing I got to say up front is shout out to all the content creators that are at New York Comic-Con right now, at the MCOC Kabam booth, sending back all the information that they can find. I was super bummed that I couldn't make it. Obviously, with my son being born, it's just the timing wasn't good. I didn't want to leave home. I needed to be there for my wife, needed to be there for the fam. I think everybody can understand that. But really wanted to get out there. But since I can't make it, I still feel somewhat connected just because of all of the live streams, the Twitter photos, everything that's being sent back by the content creators. So shout out to those guys. Thank you so much for making that possible, making that available to the community. And I really hope that I can work out things to be able to catch up with you guys at the next booth, the next Comic-Con, which I don't even know when that is, where that is. I think it's July next year. So we got a few months. Before that happens. But either way, very much look forward to being able to make that one. But we are in the present. New York Comic-Con has presented a lot of interesting information in just the very first day, which I want to touch on here in just a second. But before I get into that, got to give a shout out to Legacy. Legacy 69 of 4 Loki picked up the win yesterday. The contest that is going on at the booth. People were kind of speculating whether or not a content creator was going to win. And sure enough, in the first day, Legacy did. And both Seaton recorded the whole thing. I will link that video, but Vex also live streamed it, so there's a little bit differentiation between the two videos. If you want to check them both out, I will have them linked down in the description. Make sure you check it out. It's got Legacy playing, and I think there's 4 other guys. It's the top 5 that played. Basically, they qualified with the quickest times, and they got to go on and fight Maestro, which, can I just say, I was totally off base and wrong when I put together that champ strategy video for the contest. Honestly, I had no information to base it off of. I had sent a couple of tweets to Kabam trying to get information like, hey, is it confirmed what character we're using? Can we use masteries? Can we use synergies? And I never heard anything back. So I was just basing off of what I saw. With the fact that Guillotine was going to be there, with Morningstar coming out, that was probably going to be kind of the main enemy that you were going to be fighting. But I was totally wrong. It looks like, and I'm not there, so I don't have all the details, but it looks like Ultron was kind of the pre-qualifier. I think maybe Ultron, and then Mephisto was the next step up from that, and then that kind of whittled it down to the top 5. But it sounds like from a couple of people that I've heard talking that, from people that were there actually, that I think the champs are going to rotate each day. So the champion for today, for Friday, might be somebody totally different than Ultron. But either way, man, I'm loving this. I really hope that Kabam has their eyes wide open and realizes how much the community is into this and why we are into it. Because it's competition, man. It's not just mindless grinding just to say that you've collected a character. It's skill. It's skill on display and choices with what character you're gonna choose to take in there, and that really is what is gonna drive the game forward. And kind of curtailing off of that, I have been for a while trying to come up with a way to host a quote-unquote contest kind of like this. Which I think I've got a couple of good ideas as to what the contest could be around, like what we would actually be physically doing. But the problem is that I have not been able to find a way to kind of bridge the gap between, I'm here live streaming and somehow being able to bring in the contestants via the interwebs, because obviously it's not going to be a set location where everybody can go to. I'm trying to find a way to be able to bring in people to the live stream where I could easily mirror their screens, because obviously if they've got a YouTube page, you know, if they can live stream, I can obviously bring them right in, but that just kind of whittles down the audience, makes it so much smaller, because there's a lot of people out there who don't know how to do that, don't have access to that, who would still like to be a part of it. So I guess I am reaching out to the community just to see if you guys have any ideas, because I would like to do it live. My thought is maybe like once a month doing something like this on a weekend where I just stream for several hours, and we kind of whittle down qualifiers and do something very similar to this. I actually have been thinking about this for a long time. Had kind of been, I don't know, put it off to the side for a while there, but this contest that's going on at New York Comic Con has kind of brought it back fresh in my mind, and I really kind of want to make that happen. If we're not going to have competition in the game with Alliance Wars or with other content, you know, I'm hopefully trying to find a way to bring back that competitive side of things by making our own contest. So I'm very much open to any suggestions that you guys have, but most of those, really, I really need some help trying to figure out how we can bring people on in the live stream easily. And maybe there's just not a good answer to that. But like I said, there's much brighter minds in the community than mine, and very, very much am open and willing to listen to your suggestions there. So, yeah, there was a panel. Okay, let's get into the panel. Again, this is another video that Seaton did a great job of recording. He was right up front the whole time. The audio is clear. It's just a little low, so just turn up your audio. You'll be able to hear the whole thing. But they had one of the character developers, I think his name was Simon. They had one of the overall, I think, game developer. I can't remember exactly what his title was, but we had Gabriel, and then the third tall guy, I can't remember his name. But the panel I found to be very interesting for what was said, and almost as interesting for what was not said. And I'll break all of that down here over the next several minutes. But obviously the first big news that came out, and I don't think anybody was surprised by this. In fact, I talked about it last week in the podcast, that with the picture being leaked, it's going to be Hela, it's going to be Gladiator Thor. We're not going to have a Gladiator Hulk, at least not this year or in the foreseeable future. Maybe they've got ideas for a different type of Hulk that's coming. But yes, they announced that both Gladiator Thor was going to be coming in November, as well as Hela. From what it looks like, from what people are saying, Hela will probably be a mystic, mystic/cosmic. We'll see what's going on there. Really, I'm not so much intrigued with that as I am Gladiator Thor. In the video that is linked down below, Gabriel is talking about how this version of Thor is going to be very different from the Thor that we have. I think the way he put it is he's lost his mojo. He's going to be using a lot of different kind of gladiatorial weapons, which is awesome. And then hinted at the fact, he did not say that he would be a different class. I can't remember the exact wording, but he hinted very strongly that there's a good possibility that it might be a different class, which I immediately started going through the classes, checking them off, trying to whittle it down. And obviously he's not going to be mutant, he's not going to be science, he's not going to be tech. If he's not going to be cosmic, that leaves mystic, and that leaves skill. And I feel like if he's not going to be cosmic, then he wouldn't be mystic. Those two, I feel, are too closely tied together. If we're talking about a combat-focused character using weapons, I think this is leaning towards a skill-based character. So a skill class Thor could be coming to the game, which I was very much kind of on like the Blade train, so to speak. I was very much leaning towards going for Blade in the featured arena, or possibly saving up the 15,000 5-star shards to go for him in the 5-star crystal. But honestly, I like Thor better. I'm not saying that he's going to be a better character, but I really do like Thor, and I think this version of him is going to be much more compelling and fun to play than the version that we currently have, the cosmic version. So yeah, just wait and see. But I have a strong feeling we could have a skill class Thor coming to the game. So we've got November nailed down with Gladiator Thor, with Hela, and then again that leaves the M for December, which there was one thing that stuck out to me right away. I was watching, I think it was Gabriel. Somebody was interviewing Gabriel. They were standing in front of the booth, and right there behind Gabriel was this huge picture of MCOC, and I thought to myself, that's really, really odd. I mean, the game has been going for almost 3 years. MCOC is not a playable character. He took up such a small fraction of the overall special event, the game, that it seems very odd that they would have MCOC there. And then the interviewer asked him, you know, what are some of your favorite characters to play? And he mentioned MCOC specifically, and I thought, those two things don't just happen by accident. He knows what is coming. He knows who is coming. He knows the direction the game is going in. So I think that placement, as far as him standing in front of MCOC, him being fed the question, which I'm sure he already knew, that he spit out MCOC as well. Those two things, I don't think that's a coincidence. I'm strongly leaning towards the fact that I think we're going to see some sort of MCOC special event going on in December, and I think he's going to be coming to the game. That is a hypothesis. I don't necessarily have anything to back that up other than the words and what I am seeing coming out of New York Comic Con. So looks like the M for December, if I had to put money on it, I think it's probably going to be MCOC. Now, wrapping back around to November next month, also in the panel they talked about a special event that will be tied into the Thor Ragnarok movie that's coming out, which, thank God, the special events, I know there's probably a lot of planning, there's probably a lot of work that goes into those, and with everything else that is involved in the game, I'm sure they just don't have the manpower to be able to put one of these out, you know, every other month, but my God, I wish they would. Those special events, to me, are the most exciting parts of the game, because they usually involve things that we've never seen before, combinations of buffs or new characters. Possibly we'll see 6 stars as the boss here, but I am very much looking forward to November and that special event. The last couple of months, August, September, even parts of October here, even with all the new characters coming out, they seem to be lacking just just something. I feel like I've been talking about it constantly, and it's that competitive aspect. It's that reason to log in, to really think about what characters you want to go for, to really spend the time grinding to pick them up. And these special events help to kind of prop some of those parts of the game that are lacking because of Alliance War up, because there probably will be very specific characters that work best for the event. Possibly some of the new characters that have come out, or possibly even new characters that are coming in November, will be well suited for this event and a reason to really go after them. So there wasn't really great detail given about any of that, other than it's confirmed there will be a special event coming. Now, they said something that I hope they won't regret. They said that it was going to be the most difficult special event to date. And last time when the Web Slinger event came out, they said that it was going to be more difficult than the Bautista's challenge, and that turned out to be completely false. I never did post videos of it, but I was actually trying to run through the last path with 2-star characters. I could only ever get about 2 in with just one. It was Star-Lord. I was just using Star-Lord, a 2-star Star-Lord. So that's just kind of showing the difficulty level really wasn't on par with the Bautista event, and ultimately it was all wrapped up in the fact that there was lifesteal. You could take as much damage as you want. If you could reliably do damage, you were going to get all that health right back. So it'll be very interesting to see kind of what they've got up their sleeve for this this new special event, and very much I'm looking forward to seeing that come next month. One thing that felt like just kept being talked about over and over, at least kind of mentioned here and there throughout interviews and things throughout the panel, was like, hey, we're very passionate about this game. Like, we love this game, and I almost felt like they were hinting at like, hey, look at us, we're human, we're not robots making this game, like, stop sending so much hate our way. Like, I really felt like that was kind of the undertones of a lot of what was going on there. And, I mean, honestly, a lot of that did kind of ring true. It is nice seeing faces, you know, outside of the forum post. It's nice seeing the people that do ultimately put a lot of time, a lot of effort. This is their livelihood. This is their passion, creating and implementing this game, keeping it moving forward. That is not an easy task, to continually come up with new ideas for characters, new ideas for special events. You know, when you're not seeking outside help, when it's kind of a combined, you know, small group of developers. And I get all that. I really do. I think that they receive a lot of unnecessary hate, and I have said it many times before. I think a lot of that, though, it comes from a good place, because that people are passionate about the game because they love the game. If people didn't care about the game, they wouldn't be so boisterous and so noisy. They would just let the changes come in. They'd let the game die, and, you know, RIP MCOC 2017. But, you know, that is not the community base. You know, when we are upset, it's typically based around things that, you know, we have solutions to. A lot of times we make those known, and typically, kabam, you know, they implement the changes here and there. You know, one thing that I haven't really seen discussed, and, you know, it was the first day. You know, there are several more days coming, so I don't want to assume anything. It's Friday. I have to put this out on Friday. I wish I had the benefit of waiting all through the weekend and putting this out next Monday, which I may do another recap on that, depending upon what is said. In fact, I probably will. But I hope that at some point, whether it's during a panel or an interview, somebody has some sway says, like, hey, we realize that the game, it needs a more competitive aspect, and hey, we're working on that. We're listening to you guys. We've taken some of your ideas. We've got some of our own. We're gonna beta test it all. We're gonna be presenting that soon. And I don't know if them releasing the information that, hey, there's a special event coming next month is their way of trying to kind of deflect attention away from the fact that Alliance War is slowly killing the game without the competitive side. But I do hope that at some point here in the near future, we do see some connection between our frustration, what we're telling to those developers, the game developers. We see some sort of connection between what we're saying and the responses that we're getting back. Because so far, what we're saying and the responses that are coming back, those seem to be on two totally different planets. So while I do appreciate that, yes, they have a passion for the game, yes, they're real people, I understand all of that. Trust me, I hate seeing comments in my YouTube videos where people just say, I suck. It doesn't really bother me, but I hate seeing it, and I'm sure it doesn't necessarily bother them, but I'm sure they get tired of seeing it as well. So I understand that from a human perspective. But at the same time, I really am looking for some more cohesive, just unity between what's going on with the frustrations in the game and then what the developers themselves are working on. And I do trust, and I do hope, and I've said it a million times now, that those two sides will come together very, very shortly. One other thing that is conspicuous by its absence so far, and again, there's still several more days in Comic-Con. However, I do not expect for any information for this to come out during Comic-Con. When we had the Inhumans event that came, the animated comic strip that came out, it had and was pointing directly at artifacts, quote-unquote artifacts / gear, whatever you want to call it, coming to the game soon. And I made a whole video on that. And outside of that animated comic, like, there was really no other information that was provided or talked about. Nothing else has been hinted since then. That event came and went. We're in the middle of the Morningstar, Mephisto, and Blade event this month. Rolling into next month, we're going to have Thor Ragnarok with a special event going on there. And then in December, I would say it's probably going to be something more holiday-based, gifting-based. Probably not going to be something like massively game-changing coming in December. So I think it's kind of odd that we have not heard anything yet. I would love for there to be like a Q&A panel where somebody like raises their hand and be like, hey, what's the gear situation, the artifact situation in the game? I would love to get their opinion and answer to that. But for the time being, we still have not heard anything. And honestly, I think it really is, and I do think it's coming. It's kind of the next natural progression for the game. At some point, you have to stop putting just another new extra star at the end of a character, because it just keeps devaluing the characters that you've spent so much time, effort, and even money in some circumstances, situations to pick them up. And, if I love playing with Hulk as my 4-star character, now I have to get him as a 5-star character. Once I finally get him as a 5-star character, now I got to get him as a 6-star character just to play the one character that I love. And I've talked about this many times before in my gearing video, but I think artifacts, gear, whatever you want to call them, are, like I said, the next natural progressive states to be able to still grind, have a reason to go in the game, but still be able to use those characters that you enjoy further on as content becomes more and more difficult. And kind of another point to that is I hope sometime in the near future we see a larger separation in the game experience between those that are at the lower to mid-tier from those that are at the top tier. Because honestly, yes, the AQ maps are slightly different. Alliance Wars are essentially the same. Basically, the only differentiation between a character or a person who's logging in doing map 4, who's playing Alliance War in Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5, and somebody who's running map 6 every day, Tier number 1 Alliance War, basically is just the enemies you're facing, they've got more health, they've got more attack power. I mean, that is essentially it. Yes, there are a few more variations than that, but really that's the only thing separating it. I hope that very soon we will see an additional chance, ability, what's the word I'm looking for? Just the ability to unlock and open up even further, more difficult content, to bring even a bigger challenge and to separate yourself further from other people that are in the quote-unquote end game. Other games implement this well, and I always go back to World of Warcraft because that's the most recent MMORPG game that I have played. There's several different ways to play that, and even though I ran into the same dungeon and I experience it at a mid-tier level, somebody who goes into the same dungeon who's running it on a heroic level is going to experience, even though they're in the same dungeon, something totally different, because not only does it have more health and more hit points, but there's more skill involved. There's more things you have to be aware of. There's more communication that's needed, and I hope that along with all of these changes that are happening with 6-star characters, hopefully with artifacts and gear coming, that is also a portion of the game that receives a little bit of attention as well. Now, before I forget, I do want to mention we do have a very important basic arena that is happening right now. I think a lot of people have been anticipating this one. A lot of people have been hoping that they were going to pull Iceman from their 4-star crystal so that they didn't have to do this grind. But this is a big basic arena. Iceman is involved. The featured arena is Abomination, which not a lot of people are interested in, so I think that's going to even further push people over to Iceman. I think a lot of people are really concerned that this is going to break records, that this cutoff is going to be like 7 million plus. And I just honestly, I don't think we're to that point yet. I think there are still enough people participating in the arena that even though you do have a large number of people that are grinding like 7.5, 8 million plus, the overall user base and people that get into the quote-unquote pool are still enough to be able to lower that down into the 6s. Having said that, I think it's still going to be high. I would expect the first round cutoff to be right around 6.5 million would be my guess, maybe slightly under that. I think that this will mirror actually pretty closely Archangel. I think that there was quite a bit of hype surrounding Archangel. I saw a lot of people doing 7.5+ million grinds for Archangel. And the first round, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was 6.2, maybe even slightly under that. And then the second round, we saw it drop even further. I want to say, I should have looked this up beforehand, but it was in the 5s. I want to say it might have been like 5.6. So even though there's a handful of people that are always going to freak out and overgrind for everything, I think, like I said, the number of people in the pool will keep that down below 7. I don't think we'll see 7 mil plus basic arena this year. I think that will happen some point next year as people's rosters continue to expand. As far as the Abomination, the featured arena, if you happen to be going for that, for some reason, if you don't have him, maybe you already have Iceman Awakened. Those older characters that are in the featured arena, they typically go between like 6.5-ish and like 8.5-ish with Crossbones. We saw that even touch 9 when they're really popular, but Abomination obviously is not on the popular end of that, so he's going to be down in the 6s somewhere. I think there's a lot of stuff going on with New York Comic Con. I think there's a lot of people that are going to prefer to be involved over in the Iceman arena. I think it's going to keep the cutoff fairly low, and I think we might see the first time where the featured arena cutoff was just a hair below the basic arena. I think in my official cutoff prediction, which I give over on my Discord server and in my live streams, I think I put Abomination at 6.2. I think that might be slightly low. It's probably going to be closer to like 6.4-ish. But either way, I think there's a really good chance that the two arenas may mirror each other as far as cutoffs. And I think there's a good opportunity that we may see for the first time the featured arena score be just slightly under the basic arena. Now, one of the last things that I want to cover is this week I added a big addition to the channel in the form of a gaming laptop. I had been hinting at the fact that I was going to buy probably a console, an Xbox or PlayStation. I was kind of leaning towards an Xbox to be able to start bringing additional content to the channel. That has always been my plan. I had been kind of slow playing it though, just because I was having so much fun with MCOC. There was just so much content. I had new ideas every single day that I really didn't have time for anything else. But with the letdown in Alliance Wars right now for the game, in MCOC for me right now, it's just missing a little something. Not that I'm going to be quitting the game or stopping to put out content, but I think that I'm gonna stick with it. I do love MCOC. I'm going to see it through, but I also want to start bringing just other content to the channel. And instead of getting a console, because my situation, I work at my home making content. I have better internet here at my office. I make content and upload it here, so trying to move back and forth between my home and office, having a console was not going to be the easiest thing to do that with. So I decided to go ahead and buy a gaming laptop, which I got a really good deal on it. It's a Dell Inspiron, but I'm really, really excited for it. In fact, I've got it sitting right next to me. I posted a Twitter of it on my Discord server and on and Twitter as well. The only game I have uploaded on it right now is PUBG, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. That's a game that I had on my current video editing laptop. It just didn't run well. So I've loaded that up over there. I've played it a couple times just to test everything out, and it is buttery smooth. But my goal is kind of to implement other content slowly, just to see how people enjoy it. But honestly, I'm a gamer at heart. Yes, my channel is built on MCOC, but I have grown up playing video games. This is like, outside of World of Warcraft, I think MCOC is the one single game that I've played for the longest amount of time. I usually am always, in the past, always playing whatever's new, whatever's exciting, whatever's competitive, first-person shooters. Like I said, I did play World of Warcraft. Was really into racing games for a while. Played Minecraft for a little bit when that first came out. Loved Legos as a kid, so I figured I'd give that a try. So I really am a gamer at heart. My channel has always been MCOC dedicated, but I've always had kind of the goal in mind of, you know, I am very familiar with MCOC, so that's what I'm going to start the channel with. I feel like I can provide information on that will help the community because I have a large knowledge base just from playing it for 3 years. And things have gone really, really smoothly, gone really, really well. And I think it's just kind of, for me, it's the next step in my content for my channel is to bring other games. My goal, and this could change day to day, just depending upon which way the wind's blowing, but my initial goal right now is to kind of upload, do series of a game. For instance, like, and I mentioned this in the stream last night, I don't know if this will happen, but on the 10th of this month, we have the new Shadow of Mordor game coming out, and that looks really fun. I'm very interested in that game. And what I would do is maybe on like a weekend or a night when I'm not streaming, I'll take the laptop home, I'll sit down, and I will play the game for a couple of hours until I completely get all the way through it. And I'll break those videos up into a series so it can provide just some fun content, some background noise. I personally watch Let's Play videos all the time. because I spend so much time at MCOC. I didn't have the opportunity, didn't have a console or a PC game, didn't have the opportunity to play a lot of the other games. So I would watch streamers who were live streaming other games. I would watch series of people playing other games. So that stuff does interest me. I've always wanted to kind of try that out. So I'm not sure what game I'm going to do first, but I do have plans to start at least recording that this weekend. I don't think that I will live stream. I might live stream Saturday afternoon maybe, but I'll have an opportunity Saturday night and then also at some point on Sunday to sit down and play a game, record it, and see what you guys think. And then in the near future, if that goes well, I would like to start streaming other games, like Star Wars Battlefront is coming out. The new Call of Duty World War II game is coming out. I know a lot of people play those games in addition to MCOC. I love first-person shooters. I love the competitive aspect. So I would like to start streaming some of that as well. I know that may piss off some people who would prefer this channel just to be MCOC and Marvel-based. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Like I said, I'm a gamer at heart. I'm not going to be quitting MCOC, but we'll be slowly kind of producing and putting out more content. You know, I never dreamed in a million years when I started this channel back in February that I would be anywhere near 10,000 subscribers. And I know things have slowed down here this last month just because of family situation. There's been a lot going on with the birth of my son, a lot going on at work that's kept me away. But really, overall, my expectations, my dreams, what I thought a good start would be, have been completely and totally surpassed. To the point where it's like, okay, you know, am I really going to get into this thing? Am I really going to make this thing grow? Or am I just going to kind of, you know, put out content here and there at kind of the pace that I am and just see what happens? And I'm every day, with every video that is produced, with every live stream when I talk to people, as you guys sponsor the channel, as you guys donate to the channel, it inspires me and it gives me motivation to continue to provide interesting content, new content, just things for your entertainment. So I hope that this change to the channel is looked at as a good thing. Hopefully it will bring in more people, a bigger audience, we can have more fun overall. If you have comments about that, questions, I'm open to all of it. One of the best places that you can find me, in addition to Twitter, because Twitter's great. Twitter's great. Twitter is great for just like posting like, hey, I'm live, or answering, you know, small questions here or there, or communicating back and forth in a few sentences. But so certainly follow me there. But I also have a Discord server, which I'm very new to Discord. If you're unfamiliar with what it is, it's basically just a big chat room. I've got different channels set up for general chat, for arena predictions, for my sponsors who are in Club 801. If you ever want to contact me, if you're a sponsor, hit me up there. I'll respond to you right away for everything that you need. But that's a great place to go and to have a discussion regarding this. And really anything else that's going on in the channel. Before I do get off here, and speaking of Discord, I will be producing a video today that I have hinted at for a while now. There are a lot of people who find the Champ Refresh series that I do fun and interesting, and a lot of times when I make a video, like the last one that I did on Iron Fist, I always get several emails from people saying like, hey, I love your Champ Refresh videos. Here's my idea that I had for Iron Fist. Or sometimes I'll just get an email out of the blue for characters that aren't even in the game. And it was one of my subscribers who did that, who also mentioned like, hey, you should open this up to your subscribers and let us, you know, submit our refresh ideas. Maybe you can make it a contest. Might be kind of fun. And I totally agree with that. So I've talked about it several times. We're going to make it happen today. So do keep an eye out for that video to come. It'll probably be, it's about noon right now. This video itself will probably not go up for the next couple of hours, so it may be late afternoon when that pops up. But I'll give all the details. I won't spend a bunch of time on that now, but just look for it. I'll give all the details in that video, so make sure if you're interested, if you'd like to participate, if you've got great ideas, if you want your voice to be heard, if you want to show people how smart you are, how creative you are, that's the place to do it. So definitely look for that video later today. All right, guys, I hope you have enjoyed today's podcast. I'm really interested and excited to see what further content is going to come out of New York Comic-Con. There's just a lot going on, man. It's a very, very exciting time. So I very much am looking forward to seeing that. Depending upon what comes out, there may be additional videos. this weekend that's come out in reference to that. Otherwise, I'm sure once this thing wraps up, there will be some new information that comes out that I'll want to touch on. So we'll probably do that next Monday, Tuesday at some point. All right, guys, I appreciate, as always, the incredible support, the kind words, everything that you guys do for not only my channel, but ultimately, it's not my channel, it's my family. Like, I do this for, I enjoy doing it. I hope you guys enjoy watching it. But I spend all this time and effort to help support my family is really what it comes down to. So thank you so much for all the love and support that you guys show the channel and my family. If you are not, follow me over on Twitter, as I've mentioned several times. It's in the description of this video, as well as the link to my Discord server, which I would love to have you guys there. I've got my Discord open all day when I'm at work. Happy to chat back and forth with you guys on any subject you want. Doesn't have to be MCOC. All right, hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.